Archimedes was born into a rich family with famous parents around the year 287 BC in the city of Syracuse. Whoops, not that Syracuse. Syracuse, Greece. His father, Phidias, was a well-known astronomer and mathematician. Historians suspect that this is the reason why Archimedes had an interest in the sun, moon, planets, and science. Greeks love knowledge, so it is believed that Archimedes had learned a thorough amount of mathematics in school. He also would have been exposed to the facts originating in Egypt and Babylon. There was something that made Archimedes different from other mathematicians. He was related to Hero II, king of Syracuse. No, not that one. Although historians don't know how he was related, they all agree that he was in some way. Archimedes had many accomplishments. In my opinion, his greatest was the method of exhaustion, which is an early form of integration calculus. In other words, the method of exhaustion was a way to find a large quantity by adding up smaller amounts. It seems simple, but in fact is much harder than it looks. The method of exhaustion could be used to find the areas of parabolas, which are endless curves, and to find pi. During Archimedes' time, no one knew the correct value of pi, so he set out to solve this problem. He took a circle and put one polygon on the inside and another on the outside. Archimedes found the perimeters of the polygons and knew that the circumference of the circle had to lay between their values. He kept on doubling the sides on the polygons until they each had 96. Archimedes was then able to divide the diameter of the circle into the perimeters of the polygons. This was how he found that pi lay between 3.141 and 3.143, which could be rounded to 3.14. In Archimedes' eyes, his greatest accomplishment was how he proved the volume of a sphere is 2/3 the volume of a cylinder if they have the same length, width, and height. He thought this was so amazing that he even had a picture of a sphere inside a cylinder inscribed on his grave. Archimedes was very successful in his scientific life. He was so far ahead of his time that there wouldn't be any new discoveries in some of the topics he had studied for another 2,000 years. An example of this is hydrostatics, or how liquids behave when at rest. In a famous story, King Hero II wants Archimedes to help him with a problem. The king had a suspicion that the goldsmith he asked to make his crown had mixed some of the gold with less valuable metal like silver, but couldn't prove it. He gave Archimedes the task of finding out if the goldsmith was guilty. Archimedes was thinking about this problem while taking a bath. When he got into the tub, he noticed that the water level rose, and when he got out, it sank. Archimedes used this to compare the crown and a piece of gold the same weight. He was so excited that he ran through the streets of Syracuse shouting, "Eureka!" which means I have found it. In the end, the goldsmith was proved guilty, but more to the point, Archimedes had discovered the law of buoyancy and hydrostatics. Archimedes wasn't only a mathematician, though. He was a hero. King Hero II was afraid Syracuse wasn't safe from invaders, so he asked Archimedes to design a defense system. This defense system included catapults, a weapon that shot showers of arrows through Syracuse's walls, and long metal arms that used pulleys to pick up a ship and tip it over. These weapons weren't used until 215 BC, when they helped save the Syracusans from Rome in the Second Punic War. Unluckily, though, when the Syracusans were celebrating their victory, the Romans snuck up from behind and conquered the city. Archimedes had many influences on the community. Today, we may seem more advanced and smarter than Archimedes' time, but we still use his method to calculate pi. In the 20th century, a computer was used to calculate more than 2 million digits of pi using Archimedes' method. Archimedes also had another influence on our time. In California, there is a town called Eureka, which is what Archimedes yelled when he solved Hero's problem about the crown and guilty goldsmith, as before mentioned. The name Eureka makes perfect sense because in the town they found gold, and Eureka means I have found it. One fun fact about this town is that they have a shop called Eureka Bakery. Get it? The answer will be at the end of the video. Another influence Archimedes had was on Marculus, the Roman leader who conquered Syracuse. Marculus was so influenced and amazed by Archimedes' work and war machines that he ordered his soldiers not to harm a single hair on Archimedes' head. Unfortunately, though, Archimedes didn't like to be disturbed while working on a math problem. When the soldier entered his home to bring him to Marculus, Archimedes insisted on finishing his work. The soldier got so enraged that he killed the mathematician. Archimedes was a hero and a genius. One thing that I wish he hadn't done, though, was write in the dirt. Since wax tablets and papyrus were too expensive and hard to erase, Archimedes wrote on almost every other surface he could find. This included dirt, ash from the fireplace, and even his own oily skin. If he made a mistake, then it could just be erased with the wipe of his hand. The only problem, though, was that much of Archimedes' thinking was lost. In my opinion, he discovered so much mathematics and science that a group of the world's best professors couldn't discover as much as he did in the next 2,000 years. I would recommend this biography. It explained everything in a way kids could understand. It also had pictures and fun facts that were about or related to Archimedes. Did you know that in 1610, Adolphus van Kellen used Archimedes' method to find pi with a polygon of over 30 billion sides? The biography didn't just skip around between different points in Archimedes' life, though. It was organized with a beginning, middle, and end. If you want to learn about Archimedes' life, this book is the place to look.